Welcome back to the Scrapyard, friends. I'm your host, Barnabas Tone.
And me, your co-host, Frederick Allen Seto.
If you're just tuning in, recently a Scrapyard fan named Carlos Antunes donated a fleet of cars to the Scrapyard.
So we decided to race his fans' cars against all comparable cars here at the Scrapyard. All comparable cars. A and 2 C's. Or ACs. Get it? So like the opening title card says, we're calling this tournament the Fans vs. ACs Challenge. Isn't that name super creative? I made it up.
I think they can tell. Anyway, moving on with a quick recap of the rules. 3 heats, no restarts for a double DNF, most wins out of 3 heats advances. Make it across the line any way possible, and all cars are stock. And here we have our tournament bracket all set up. To kick things off in race 1, we're starting with Group 4.
And in Group 4, we have the 1969 Custom Thunderbird versus the 1970 Monte Carlo SS. And if you didn't know, each car in this tournament is being driven by a member of Carlos's family for Team Cartunes or an employee of the Scrapyard for Team Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Now let's get up to that starting gate and learn a little more about each driver.
And race.
What?
We're also going up to the starting gate to race cars. We're a racing channel, remember?
Well, technically we're a junkyard that races cars in our spare time. Oh, but not us, folks. Al and I are just commentators. We're not racing.
This time,
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
And as the officials are doing their final safety check, let's learn a little more about each driver. For Team Cartunes in the 1969 Custom Thunderbird, it's Carlos's own mother racing under the codename Sweet Bay Tree.
And if you watched our pre-show for this event, then you'll already know that Carlos's mom has never driven a car in her life. So this could be really interesting.
And for Team Scrapyard, it's the head of our IT department, Vardo Duarte.
I don't know how good he is at racing, but he's a genius at IT.
How so?
Well, since I'm always forgetting my password, he told me to change it to incorrect. So whenever I forget it, the computer automatically tells me your password is incorrect. I haven't been locked out of my computer since.
But now everyone knows your password.
Javardo says it doesn't matter who knows my password, just as long as they don't know my cat's name is Zan.
Anyway, fans, let's see if he can cut it as a racer.
Don't you mean let's see if he can hack it? Get it? Because he's in IT?
That joke needs a reboot.
3, 2, 1, go!
Monte Carlo leads.
Ooh, they both flipped.
This heat is over. Let's take a look at that replay. For her first time behind the wheel, Sweet Bay Tree actually drives hard off the line.
Yeah, and Javardo cuts in immediately for the block, and he tried to crash her hard drive. Huh? See what I did there?
Really? Are we going to do this for the whole race? Computer jokes?
Probably. So just accept it and let it go.
Anyway, it's Javardo who wouldn't let go of his intentions of blocking, and once they transition into the bottleneck, he's practically sideways.
And Carlos's mom tries to drive around, which is super impressive for a first-time driver/racer, but Javardo widely throws his car out of control for a desperate block.
And he really got lucky. Look how close he was to almost flying off the track.
Yeah, that would have been a job for Wild Bob and the rescue team for sure.
Then at that point, there's really nowhere for Sweet Bay Tree to go, and she just drives off the track.
Right. For a first-time driver, she saw that she was in trouble and she went off track right at the emergency station. That's some real mom intuition at work right there. Gonna be in trouble? Get an ambulance. I bet she even had the foresight to put a clean pair of underwear in her glove box for Carlos just in case.
Just look at Javardo. He's the first racer ever to go into Carmine Corner, and he did it flipping on his roof.
And I'm sure after this accident, he's even happier to be the head of the IT.
I'm afraid to ask why.
Oh, because he's definitely going to have to reinstall Windows. Get it? Get it?
The only thing I want to get is the first look at the scorecard. Well, fans, after neither racer being able to make it past the halfway point, no one puts a win on the scorecard. Maybe they'll have better luck in Heat 2.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Here we are, fans, ready for Heat 2.0.
No, we are not doing that. It's just Heat 2 with a mandatory lane change.
Well, that was a rough start to the race and the tournament. Let's hope they can keep it on the track, or we're in for a long night.
Well, that would mean a lot of extra heats for the fans and overtime for me.
Wait, what? You get overtime? Since when do you get overtime?
Shh, quiet. The countdown is starting.
3, 2, 1, go!
Monte Carlo leads.
They crash in the bottleneck.
A flip in the curve.
Thunderbird pulls through.
But Rex and Clunker Canyon.
Man, I want to see that again. The Monte Carlo has the lead off the line. Then Vardo goes wide and swipes left hard.
Excuse the computer jokes, fans. Instead, look how effective Vardo's block was. He sent Sweet Bay Tree's Thunderbird flipping through the bottleneck.
Yet somehow miraculously she manages to right her car and start racing in reverse. Again, super impressive for someone who has never driven a car.
Unfortunately, that inexperience costs her when she comes out of the Carmine corner. First-timers have had a hard time realizing you have to do everything in the opposite direction when you're going backwards driving through the rearview mirror.
But still, she got further than the last time, while Vardo had another 404 user error right in the same spot as Heat 1.
Well, fans, let's spare ourselves from any more of Al's computer jokes and take another look at that scorecard.
Even though Carlos's mom went further than the last time, no one has yet been able to put out a win on the scorecard. One win in Heat 3 would spell victory for either racer. Hey fans, before we get started with this heat, we'd just like to ask you to subscribe to the Scrapyard if you haven't already done so.
And please leave us a comment on what you thought of today's race.
Plus, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We're always posting pictures from the Scrapyard. Thank you so much, and now back to the race.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Mandatory lane change has the 69 Thunderbird driven by Sweet Bay Tree on the right of your screen. And to your left is Vardo Duarte in the 1970 Monte Carlo.
This could be the one to decide it all, fans.
Safety officials have given us the thumbs up. Let's get this countdown started.
3, 2, 1, go!
They go wide.
They both missed the block.
Monte Carlo gets a push.
Thunderbird all alone.
I don't believe it. She stalls feet before the line.
So close. What an upset. Let's break down what happened in the replay. It looks like both racers were faking going wide to cut in hard for a block into the bottleneck.
This may be her first time driving, but Sweet Bay is picking up all the dirty tricks fast.
And even though she missed the block, like a PC running Windows 95, Vardo crashes all on his own without anyone even doing anything.
And he gets stuck for the third time in a row on his roof in Carmine Corner.
But this time, Sweet Bay gives him a push.
This is the farthest he's gotten the whole race, and it was thanks to his opponent.
And once she's clear of that turn, Sweet Bay drives around him and goes for the win.
However, she hits the outside wall of that final straight, and that causes her to stall just a few feet from the finish line.
Hey, when you say in the rules, make it across the line any way possible, would that have included if Sweet Bay had gotten out of her car and pushed it across the line?
Good question. We'll have to check the rule book. But I think if Carlos's mother would have actually gotten out of that Thunderbird and pushed, then Team Cartunes would deserve to win the whole tournament right here and right now. But since that didn't happen,
no one wins, so no one gets points. And that means we're into sudden death. I'm so excited because I helped Nell 1 from our graphics department come up with the title cards. Oh, you don't know who Nell 1 is? Then you need to go back and watch our pre-show to catch up.
sudden death is going to be intense.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing. Sudden death.
Our first race in the Fans vs. ACs challenge, and we already have a sudden death scenario.
What a way for Sweet Bay to start her racing career. She'll never forget this day.
Yeah, and if Vardo hits his head one more time, flipping in the curve, he'll never remember it.
What is that in front of the camera?
It's sudden death, so it's supposed to be a creepy shadow.
No.
3, 2, 1, go!
neck and neck.
Vardo blocks.
Thunderbird flips.
A reversal. A reversal.
She's all alone and across the line.
She won. Let's see it again. Vardo must have installed a faster processor because he was first off the line.
And he blocks hard into the bottleneck and actually causes Sweet Bay Tree to flip.
Yet somehow she goes into Carmine Curve on her wheels and Vardo is back on his roof. Maybe since Carmine Corner is named after her husband and this is the creepy sudden death round, the curve is haunted by Carmine's ghost.
What are you talking about? Crazy Carmine is very much alive and racing in Group 3.
Maybe he was the ghost that was at the starting gate watching over his wife. Spooky shadow, ooh, sudden death.
I'm almost missing the corny computer jokes. But anyway, fans, look again. She pushes him through the corner and then drives around.
And Vardo gets stranded in Clunker Canyon. Maybe he should leave the Monte Carlo there and trade up to something better. Like maybe a Buick Regal with fog lights.
Well, speaking of trading up, Sweet Bay can trade up her title from rookie to race winner.
Yeah, I like how on her only 4th time down the track and her first time across the line, she even does a little drift in the 1969 Thunderbird.
It took 4 heats, but we have our winner. If the first-time drivers for Team Cartunes can drive like this, then Team Scrapyard Diecast Racing could be in trouble once the pros get on the track. Also, with that win, Sweet Bay Tree becomes the first racer to earn her spot in round 2. Meanwhile, Vardo Duarte from our IT department tried his best, but he couldn't get past Carmine Corner.
Yeah, maybe he should give up racing and take up fishing. Fishing with a PH. Get it? That's another computer joke.
Sorry, I've already unfollowed whatever you're saying. Please join us back here in 2 weeks, fans, for Round 1 Group 3, when Crazy Carmine, who is very much alive, will be in his 1965 custom Mustang for Team Cartunes, taking on Armando in the 1973 Falcon XB for Team Scrapyard. Until then, this is Barnabas Tone, signing off.
Barry, that race is gonna be great. Thanks for watching, fans. This is F. Alan Seto, logging out.
No more computer jokes.
Fine, I'm shutting down for the night.
The Scrapyard Diecast Racing